I do got to say that it has been a very busy week when it comes to gaming news. We have Phil Spencer being interviewed. We have PlayStation dropping one of their biggest exclusives in Spider-Man 2. And honestly, everything is starting to wrap around what's happening with Activision Blizzard and Microsoft. Yet it's still Xbox that is talking about the biggest deal in gaming and what it means for PlayStation fans. I want to get into exactly what Phil Spencer is talking about and what is going to happen with the PlayStation fans when it comes to these big Xbox franchises that now belong to Microsoft. Let's get into everything that's being said because there's a lot to talk about here. Alright, so you know the drill. If you like the video, hit that subscribe button and that like button. And if you want to be notified on future content, hit that small little bell icon. And if you want to go that extra mile to support the channel, hit that join button. All the support is greatly appreciated. Okay, so there's one thing I want to get clear out of the way, is that the Activision Blizzard deal is done. There's not much else to talk about. We're going to see this transition happen for the next several months, and Phil Spencer just indicated that Activision Blizzard games are not going to be going into Game Pass at least until 2024. So I expect the next several months to be kind of low-key and just talk about the Activision Blizzard deal, what it means. So there's going to be some interviews, and of course Call of Duty is going to launch. So it's going to be pretty cool. But overall, I think Game Pass is going to have to wait a little while. But there is one thing that a lot of people have shown concern over, and that is what is going to happen with PlayStation fans, especially ones that don't have a PC and don't have an Xbox. Are they going to be forced to buy an Xbox or a PC to play Activision Blizzard games? Well, I'm going to be kind of honest with you. This is what Phil Spencer had to say, because no matter what I say, it doesn't matter. It matters what the people working at Microsoft says. So let's get into the article and see what it has to say and what Phil Spencer directly has to say. Phil Spencer extends olive branch to PlayStation 5 players as Xbox Activision Blizzard deal closes. You are welcome here and will remain welcome. For the millions of fans who love Activision Blizzard and King Games, we want you to know that today is a good day to play. Spencer said in a statement on Xbox Wire, "You are the heart and soul of these franchises, and we are honored to have you as part of our community. Whether you play on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, or mobile, you are welcome here and will remain welcome even if Xbox isn't where you play your favorite franchises." Now, I do got to say that I think Phil Spencer is saying this because he wants to. He kind of understands that in order for this big acquisition, which is on magnitudes we've never seen before, to be profitable, he needs to stay on multiple platforms. So when people talked about Starfield being on Xbox only and PC, well, that's because Elder Scrolls and all those games from Bethesda first started on PC and Xbox helped transition them over to console. So I understand the exclusivity. Plus, I think it is a little bit of warring franchises. And what I mean by that is Sony tried to lock down Starfield. That is a documented fact. Phil Spencer has talked about it. A lot of people talked about it, how they try to get Ghostwire and Deathloop, not to mention Starfield, to be exclusive to the PlayStation platform. And Microsoft, knowing that they're in third place, couldn't let that happen. So of course they made their game exclusive because that's what Sony was going to do. Now, I do got to say that spending $8 billion on Bethesda was a great investment because they're going to get a lot of return in it, but it is a completely different animal compared to Activision Blizzard. I think that Call of Duty and all those big games are detrimental to what can happen to Sony and detrimental that what can happen to Xbox if they don't transition right. What I mean by that is that $70 billion acquisition needs to have a massive return and investment for Microsoft. So for them to just close off an entire gaming ecosystem in PlayStation just isn't in the cards. I don't see that happening, especially with big franchises. Can it happen with completely new franchises? Maybe, but that's still to be determined through history, because the biggest thing that everybody talked about was Call of Duty through this whole thing. So I want to get into the article and see what it says about that. Microsoft previously pledged to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation consoles for the next 10 years, although no such promises were made about other games from the publisher. Spencer now seems to hint that nothing much would change in terms of exclusivity, at least not for series that are already on multiple platforms, albeit with quite some room for interpretation. Because when everyone plays, we all win, Spencer adds. We believe our news today will unlock a world of possibilities for more ways to play. Thank you for the ongoing support. We have so much more coming in the months ahead. I'm excited for the future and cannot wait to share it with you. Okay, let's just be real here. As a Blizzard fan, and probably one of the biggest Blizzard fans you'll ever find, I love Blizzard games, but a lot of their games are not on console. Diablo's over there, and I get it, people love it, but most of their franchises outside of Diablo and Overwatch just haven't been over there. So I don't know what PlayStation console fans are missing. If anything, if World of Warcraft or all these other games that they have on there do come to the console, they're just adding it to PlayStation because, hey, you are getting something new. But StarCraft, Warcraft, World of Warcraft, all the games that are over there at Blizzard, especially the big franchises, even Hearthstone, is not on the console. So what are they missing? PlayStation fans, if they've wanted to play Blizzard games for the last 20 years, had to get a PC. That's just what they had to do. And to some extent, even Xbox console fans had to get a PC to play these games. Now, let's shift over to Activision. Call of Duty has been around for years. It is the top selling game every year, and I get it. People love it. And I don't think that's going anywhere. I think that's going to stay on the PlayStation console. I think it's going to be even enhanced on the Xbox console. And the one thing that we're not going to see, and what's been rumored, is that there is going to be parity. Now, what I mean by that is if a console is more powerful, it's going to look better on that console. That's what Phil Spencer, that's what Xbox said. There's not going to be any parity between the consoles, kind of like what's happening now, where PlayStation kind of has the same performance as Xbox, even though Xbox is more powerful. You know, I digress. You know what I mean. That the games are going to look as good as they can on the hardware that they're on. Now, of course, the Switch is not going to look that crazy because it's the Switch, but they're expanding everything so much that it's kind of insane. Now, I do got to say that I think that Xbox is going to expand what they're doing for a very long time. They're going to try to show what's happening. They're going to try to put everything in front of us because that's what they're going to do. They're going to put all these games on the platforms they can. But I do have to say, I don't see it happening with a lot of the Blizzard games. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that if World of Warcraft gets ported to the console, why wouldn't you put it on PlayStation? That's a game that you want more people on because it's online, you get paid subscriptions, and it's going to be huge. The big thing that's going to change everything is not the games going on the consoles. It's going to be Game Pass. Let's be honest with ourselves. If you are going to go buy a PlayStation, which just hiked up the price of the PlayStation again, and you start paying $70 to $60 for games, it's going to be pretty expensive to stay on that side of the fence. Now, if you go buy an Xbox console and then get Game Pass, it's a far cheaper alternative. That is going to be the backbreaker that I think is going to happen for a very long time. Sony, as we've said in previous videos, needs to start making their software work for them, aka get games as a service. That's something Jim Ryan went down, and that's something that needs to happen. I don't think their first party studios should do that. I think they should stick to the games they make because they sell really well and they push the console. I think they need to get Bungie to start making new games, and I think they need to maybe go out there and grab other publishers or other development teams to make those types of games when they specialize in it. Because like I've said before, the one thing that Xbox has over PlayStation, and it's not even a joke, and I mean leaps and bounds has over them, is multiplayer games or games as a service. Sony doesn't have any. They just don't. And that's something that Activision Blizzard, if let's say Sony bought them, would have solved instantly for them. But they didn't. Xbox got them and just doubled down on the multiplayer co-op aspect and online aspect of what they do best, which is Xbox Live, or Xbox Network as they call it. And that's what they do best, is that they have a stable network. People connect all the time. They're always in parties and they're always playing games together. And Blizzard Activision games do that tenfold, and so do Xbox games with the co-op and everything that's online. With Halo, Gears, Forza, you name it, it's online and it's awesome. So let's see what happens now, because extending this olive branch to the PlayStation fans was awesome by Phil Spencer, but I think it's also something that he is saying just to kind of put the bad news and everybody attacking the Activision Blizzard deal down. Because I think that they're going to put their games on PlayStation, but I also think that new franchises are going to be exclusive to Xbox so they can push the platform, push Game Pass, and also expand PC. And not to mention mobile down the line. So I want to know what you think. Do you think that these games are going to stay on PlayStation platform? Do you think they're only going to put the older franchises on PlayStation's platforms? Or do you think new franchises are going to head over to multiple platforms, including Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and of course Xbox? And do Do you think Sony is going to have a retaliation by buying some other publisher or buying developers to kind of answer this for their fans? Let me know down below because I want to know what you think about that. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button to support us out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamer tag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. So, I've been playing a lot of Jedi Survivor, and while I'm enjoying the game, I still haven't finished it. I love it. It's massive, and honestly, I'm going to probably get like 40 to 45 hours out of this thing. It is just so big and so much little cool things to find, and plus I love the Star Wars world, so I'm just loving it. But I do have to say, I've completely shifted over to Spider-Man 2. It just came out. I'm loving every second of it. As everybody knows here, I'm a massive comic book fan. I love the first two games that Insomniac made in the Spider-Man world. I love the first one. I've beaten it 3 times. I've beaten Miles Morales once or twice. I want to say twice, but probably once. And now I'm jumping into Spider-Man 2, and I think I'm about an hour into it, and I have to say, it is amazing. It's completely different. I know a lot of people think, oh, the same New York, and I get it. It is the same New York, but man, does the combat and the feel and the story and everything just feel way more polished. And there's a lot better mechanics in there that does take advantage of the next-gen hardware that the PlayStation 5 has. I do have to admit that the game has launched very well. I know there's a bunch of bugs, but I haven't ran into those. I mean, if you're looking for them, I'm sure you'll find them. But I am thoroughly enjoying it. I love the story so far, and I can't wait to get deeper into this thing because, man, it's so much fun. But let me know what you're playing. Are you playing something on your Xbox, your PS5, your Nintendo Switch? Are you playing the new Mario game that came out? Let me know what you're playing because that's what we're here for. It's to talk games. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.